Every week on the Sunday session, we go through some of the big decisions that have either riled us or have riled people. We want to explain them. Now, this feature is very much about supporting the referees, explaining the laws of the game and trying to work out exactly why decisions have been made. And I am all for supporting the referees. But there are just the odd occasion when I lose my rag because I spend so much time trying to defend VAR, its intervention, the way they've used it, the referees and the decision-making processes, but when they get it wrong, it almost is like, it's Friday night, let's get a decision wrong, and then it's catching. It's almost like it's contagious. The whole weekend then falls apart in terms of VAR.
Jenna, honestly, we had this segment because we wanted to stick up for brilliant refereeing decisions.
And we wanted to understand it.
And highlight it.
To understand
Do you know
it
what happened,
more.
Sam? It's actually gradually got worse and worse because you heard Howard Webb, didn't you, at the beginning of the season when we had all the Zoom meetings and the protocols that are going to follow. There's going to be higher bar for challenges, and the physicality, and he didn't want VAR getting involved as much as what had been. What's happened now is it's actually getting involved when it doesn't need to and not getting involved when it needs to.
Right, let's start with Christian Romero. Handball or not, the Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes left furious, demanding an apology from referees. His side were denied a penalty in their 2-0 defeat to Tottenham. United feeling aggrieved because Alejandro Garnacho's shot was blocked by the arm of Romero in the 26th minute. It did hit his hand. Was it in a natural position and out of his natural silhouette? That is the law of the game.
I mean, it was out of his body. So I would have thought I was surprised when it wasn't given. Thankful, I might add. But yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised. The only thing I can think of is the close range that it was shot at him at, the power, and how can he move his arm in that quickly, given how close he was. But for me, my initial thought was that it was a pen.
Here's my problem, right? Lewis Dunk had a penalty given against him last week for a similar sort of incident, slightly different in fact that his body was moving. And
he was sliding, wasn't he?
Lewis Dunk had more of an excuse to get his arm out of the way because his natural body movement meant that his arms gravitationally ended up going up behind him. So I don't understand how, if you want consistency, you can accept that decision was wrong last weekend or right last weekend, and this decision isn't given. I just don't get the consistency. There's a lack of consistency, and that's the problem. We've been told for the last God knows how long that is handball. And how is it not handball?
Same with the penalty given today against Kira Walsh, wasn't it? Very similar.
Yeah,
close
handball.
Close proximity.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think it should be handball. I don't want it to be handball, but I've been told for the last year that it is handball.
And it was given last
week. So you've conditioned
me
me to believe that is the case, and that's how you're going to officiate it. If you then decide, just arbitrarily, I'm just going to change my mind now and stop giving those, it's not consistent. How is anybody supposed to understand the laws of the game if that's going to be the case?
Well, you're saying, Sam, that if your arm is away from your body and it hits your hand, basically you're saying it's a penalty. Because the 3 instances we mentioned, all 3 players couldn't do anything else with their hands. No. It wasn't 2 movements to one.
I don't think he has to have his arms as wide, Romero.
No,
I think that's the most of the 3. I think that's probably the most obvious one.
That was more obvious than Kira Walsh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but also the close proximity as well. You mentioned, Jenna, didn't you? With Garnacho's shot, that could be your only caveat with it. But as you said, they're either all penalties or not penalties.
It's got to be consistent, and that's the problem here. We're not getting consistency in terms of the application of the law and the guidance that has been given to us. As a result of that, we find ourselves in a situation where everybody goes to a game not knowing what is going to be handball and what isn't going to be handball. It's absolutely ludicrous. Also in that game, Lisandro Martinez should have given away another penalty.
Well, a shadow would help. It was a shove, wasn't it? It was a shove. In anywhere else on the pitch, that is given as a foul.
How is that not a penalty?
And you know what he tries to do? He tries to boot the ball at the players when he's on the floor.
Yeah, if that wasn't as bad enough.
Because he thought it was a penalty.
Alexis McAllister was sent off during the game between Bournemouth and Liverpool at Anfield. That wasn't a red card either, was it?
I thought that was quite harsh. I think in real time you see his foot's off the ground, but after review, I don't think there was any intention in it. Yes, it was high, but I don't think it was a red card for me.
Do you know what? It was side foot tackles. It wasn't a straight leg, was it, with his stud shot? No. It was both side foot tackles. And then it was Thomas Bramwell gave the red card in real time.
Yeah, and it wasn't overturned.
Isn't that one of the cases where Portini, who's the VAR, should say, Tom, I know in real time it looked like he might have gone over the top of the ball.
Is that Paul Tierney who doesn't really get on with Jurgen Klopp?
Oh, is it really?
Do you remember that from last season?
Oh, is it?
All right. No, listen, I'm not saying anything. I'm doing Klopp's job for him here, aren't I?
But again,
come on.
Anybody who watches football, you know that McAllister has made a genuine attempt to play the ball.
Hold on.
And just mistimed it, isn't he, with offside. Basically, it's a yellow card.
What about your mate Mike Dean, though? He was on Soccer Saturday yesterday and he said it was a clear red card.
Well, that's why he's not on VAR anymore. That's why he's been given the hook, hasn't he? So
Unbelievable. It's not a red card, is it? And also, Szoboszlai, that's not a penalty.
Not enough. That's my thing. You know, when we had the briefings with Howard Webb,
they told us there needed to be a higher bar for contact.
And exactly, he said not every contact is number one a free kick and number two a penalty, because the Premier League is one of the most physical leagues in the world, and that's how you want to keep it. So then you just see that where Szoboszlai has bought the penalty, hasn't he? To be fair, he's bought it. There's a trailing leg. He's brushed his standing foot.
That can be interpreted as being professional and being clever, but ultimately there wasn't enough contact there to send him down.
No, it was a weak decision, I felt.
What about Tim Ream? Sent off in the 64th minute, penalty. He got a yellow card in the first half in stoppage time. The dismissal came over after Johan Visa went down in the box, earning Brentford a penalty. It looked to me like a soft one.
I think it is a soft one, but again, that's not going to be overturned, is it? Darren Bond gives it in real time, so you're not going to say that's clear. I think the yellow.
I think that's a penalty.
No, but I think the yellow's harsh. I think sending him off is harsh. Even if you say it's just a foul.
Yeah, I think the second yellow was for dissent, I think, for mouthing off, saying it was too soft.
Oh, I thought you got sent off for the foul.
It was 2 yellow cards. The first one was for a challenge at the end of the first half, and then it was mouthing off about the penalty being given against him.
Yeah, but they're not going to overturn it because they'd say it's not clear and obvious.
He's now suspended for the game against Arsenal, so that's great.
Things ain't getting better for T. Ream, are they?
No. Very good. FIFA have clarified, by the way, Mary Earp's penalty save. They've confirmed that she was on her line for the penalty save in the Women's World Cup final. You might have seen images doing the rounds that suggested that she was off her line. I think Adrian Durham showed me one, and I said, well, anyone could have taken that picture. You don't know when the ball was kicked. It was from behind the goal. So, look, ultimately, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's a moot point now because of the fact that England lost the World Cup final despite the fact that she made that save. I was a little bit disappointed with the VAR yesterday. Surely someone's got to come out and this has all come off the back of Andre Onana's issue as well, and Martin Atkinson and John Moss, I saw them in the tunnel at Old Trafford last week, having to apologise to Gary O'Neill for not giving a penalty against Onana in that game as well.
That one just still blows my mind.
I
don't know.
It was an assault.
But I don't know how you can look at that and think it's anything other than.
Do you know the giveaway as well with Onana is when a goalkeeper is actually generally coming for the ball, they either come with both hands with a cross or one to punch. He actually spreads his arms like an eagle because he knows that he's not getting anywhere near the ball, so I'm going to clatter the player. So referees have an understanding about body languages and body shapes as well, because that was Simon Hooper, I think, was referee. It was like he should be given that, and then the VAR can't see this penalty, and the assistant so you've got three. Three are the only probably people in the whole country who watch football who think, no, that's not a penalty.
No, there was Andre Onana himself who thinks it wasn't a penalty. I spoke to him afterwards for TalkSport, and live on air I said to him, a lot of people think that was a penalty. What did you think? And he went, hey, it's just two big guys coming together.
I mean, he actually thought that Man United played quite well yesterday as well. He didn't think there was a lot wrong.
Unbelievable. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen in terms of VAR, because look, we do our best, we try to understand it all, and then it's inconsistency after inconsistency. And I think it was another bad week.
Sam, do you know what the real bane of all football fans is? VAR was brought in obviously for clear and obvious, right? You can understand when a referee doesn't see it in real time. So all these mistakes are in real time, you can go, yeah, I understand that because he has a nanosecond to see it. Yeah. Then when they go and watch it in slow motion, in like surreal time, you go, no, I don't understand how you've seen
exactly.
that.
So this is the problem. People lose faith in it because they think, well, we've just seen it now.
I'm watching the same thing as you.
So now change it, make your mind, get it right, and then everyone will be okay. Anyway, we'll see what happens next week and whether or not we get better applications of the VAR system.
The Sunday Session.
VAR. Again, we are back again talking about VAR. Why do we always find ourselves back in this situation? We try by all means to run away from this craziness, and we always find ourselves back into this. Firstly, the Manchester United penalty against Tottenham Hotspurs. Was that supposed to be a penalty against Tottenham? Manchester United fans, you think so? But That penalty incident looks not really looks exactly, but it's similar to the Liverpool one. If you think about it, was that supposed to be a penalty as well? Because it was not given. Also, the other thing is this. We saw again last week a player was given a penalty and he did not even see where the ball hit his hand. So the inconsistency with these referees, it's not actually the VAR or the system, it's the referees, the people who are supposed to be doing the work. They're the ones who are causing this havoc. The inconsistency is just unbelievable. It's out of this world. It sucks. It's irritating. Something has to be done. These people need to be serious about what they do. This is their job. And they're not only being watched with around 1,000 people. They are being watched with 1 million people all over the world who in a way are supporting either of the teams that are playing. And if they see their teams being done injustice, the whole world will go crazy. Internet will go crazy and they'll be coming after the Premier League. They need to change. They need to change. This is the biggest league in the world, the Premier League. We cannot be complaining about how the other teams are playing as well as what the referees are doing. It does not meet. It does not match. We need that difference. We need to see that they are in a professional league. They need to show that there are referees who are actually in a bigger league. 2 weeks. Oh, the first week 1 and week 2, everyone is still complaining about VAR. And again, not the system, but the people who are using it. That has to change. McAllister's penalty? No. Dominic Soboslai's penalty? I'm a Liverpool fan. That was so soft. To call it, that was so soft. The reason why I'm saying that was so soft, look at the way, of course the player hits the leg that Dominic was trying to balance with, but look at the way he went down. It felt like it was a dive, and I'm saying it as a Liverpool fan. It felt like it was a dive. The inconsistency that we're seeing in this Premier League, it's out of this world. McAllister penalty. McAllister red card, sorry, not penalty, red card. How on earth does Tierney allow that to stand as a penalty? How, as a red card, how does even Tierney even has the audacity to allow that it stand as a red card? In the video you are listening to from TalkSports, they think that maybe because of the relationship between Tierney and Jurgen Klopp, maybe that could be the reason. But why? Why do they keep bringing him back into a team or to play again with a manager he does not like? Because that could explain the reason why this was able to stand. These were 2 feet that hit each other in the air, and the other one just tried to buy a foul and they went down. The only bigger thing you could give in this, it's a yellow card. How do you go red? Somebody came out as a referee and said that it was a red card, and I was like, what dog food are you smoking while you eating now? Well, what exactly dog food is this person eating? Because it does not even make sense. A normal human being with sense, with common sense, cannot even go and say something like that. 90% of the referees are saying that is not a red card, but yet it's still there. I thought the refereeing board would have come and said that we apologize to Liverpool. We are taking away the red card. It was not a red card. It was a mistake from our referees. We will do better. They are quiet. Or maybe I'm just they're trying to finish up the Premier League. Maybe maybe later on today we will hear something. But one thing that I was told is that Liverpool are going to fight for this. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Premier League can be a crazy place, but let me know what your thoughts are and what you thought of some decisions. Crazy decisions. I'm out. Subscribe.